This is kind of a part 2 video for my entry into the Great Hybrid Tournament. This isn't just a redo of the first one due to the new changes. The first video still holds quite a bit of importance, as I'm not going to be recapping Meena's genome. Instead, I'll only be going over the changes that I've made, because I was originally happy with just 7 contributors, then it went up to 9, and then, somehow, thanks to other people in the tournament, it went up to 12 within the space of 24 hours. But still, thanks to everyone who actually came to suggest different ideas, and quite a few of them have been taken into consideration for Meena's genome. I didn't remove anything, I just added. So, let's get into the changes that I've made. Now, the first 2 contributors I added shortly after the first video because they end up providing a lot of armor should any creature get past Meena's defenses. The first one being Stagonelopis for the armor on its underside, so should anything manage to avoid getting trampled, it'll still have to get through some thick armor on the underbelly. And this was a point where I still tried to keep the theme of my hybrid, because each of the contributors are based off sort of a character from the Sing movies. You could technically say this is the representation of Miss Crawley, but even though it's not the most accurate one, it's still a reptile though, and with this being a herbivorous atosaur, it actually works better in congruity than some other crocodilians like the dwarf croc. If it's good enough for the Tyrannoceratops to win, then it's good enough for Meena, who might actually be the Tyrannoceratops of this tournament. No, a large, bulky herbivore that specialises in charging and goring. The other big contributor is the Wombat, who is supposed to represent the big koala character from the Sing movies Buster Moon. But it's definitely a more faithful representation since, both koalas and wombats are herbivorous marsupials. Except the wombat is a lot more useful, due to it kind of an obvious factor. Its rump. We're taking its rump. This is the face of a creature's like, stop taking my rump. So yeah, the wombat's rear end is made of a bunch of fused thick plates, which means it's very good at absorbing damage and utilising that butt in sort of butt bashes, which actually works fairly well in congruity with the porcupine, since both end up attacking in a similar way, running backwards into their opponents and smashing their rear end into it. So now not only is it a hard butt, it's now a hard prickly butt that they'll have to deal with. And that's originally where the genome ended, but thanks to other people in the tournament, there are still 3 other contributors left to cover. Also, like the spotted hyena, this is kinda where the whole theming characters from around the Sing movies sort of went out the window, because none of these characters are really that much good representations. At least not yet, anyway. That's sort of a secret, though. So, first up, we have the southern white rhino. See, there were still people concerned about Meena's ability to lift her head, but this rhino ends up actually fixing a lot of the issues. Also, I used southern white rhino due to it being larger than the northern white rhino, and Zane Reborn already used northern white rhino, so don't want to steal anything. So this provides its large musculature neutral hump, as well as increased neck flexibility and strength. Since elephants have fairly restricted neck movement, the rhino would be able to improve that, meaning that Meena will be much better for turning her head in order to ram opponents. Also, we'll be taking the rhino's thicker skin. Now, rhinos have thicker skin than elephants, which should keep Meena better protected from various claws and bites of other hybrids. But we will be keeping the elephant texture for the outside layer of the skin. So the skin will work a bit differently. We'll be keeping the thickness of the rhino, but the outside skin texture will be kept from the various elephants that we use in the genome. The elephant skin texture is better at retaining moisture to keep Meena from overheating. Whilst the southern white rhino provides extra muscles in the neck, the Indian gaur helps to provide better muscles throughout the entire body, while still keeping the creature fairly nimble and actually surprisingly fast. Meena capable of reaching similar speeds of other elephants, around 25 miles per hour max. And thanks to the hyena cardiovascular system, she'll be able to keep up those speeds a lot longer. And plus, no, Indian gaurs might be fairly bulky, but they can still be quite agile, which is why I put them in the genome, thanks to the suggestions. The original plan was to use Belgian blue species of cattle, but that muscle comes from a genetic mutation. It's not a genetic trait. The Indian gaur, though, is just that muscular naturally, so it works a lot better. And also works well in congruity, giving it more instincts to charge and gore. The final new addition wasn't one that was suggested, but one that I thought would be useful, because Meena already, being an elephant, a hybrid, has very good hearing and smell. But the thing that elephants lack in is vision. See, elephant vision is kind of short-sighted, and also is kind of obscured by their trunks. They can't see, like, directly in front of them. But we can fix this problem, well, not completely, but at least help to mitigate the flaws of the problem thanks to the domestic goat. I know, seems like a weird addition, but goats have very unique horizontal eyes. This allows them a much better field of view, allowing them to actually see what's behind them. They also have a unique ability to rotate their eyes in their head, even when tilting their head down to graze. So, this will definitely help greatly improve Meena's eyesight. She won't have to just rely on her hearing and smell to detect opponents coming. She'll be able to see them coming from any angle. Everything from the previous Meena video is still valid though, so don't worry Valis. You won't have to remove the Meena video from the playlist, because that video is quickly becoming one of my most popular videos ever. I mean, it's nearly going to surpass Harvey's video, which is my previous most popular video for the Skybrid War, which I'm just over the moon about. Now, my elephant is said to be one of the big four in the hybrid competition, alongside Moda, Akapura and Brutalis, who are also some of my favourite hybrids in the tournament, and I can see Meena now doing even better, now that she's able to hold up to some of the other elephant hybrids in the tournament, which were the ones I was most worried about. So, here's hoping that Meena can actually do well and win.